right. Okay. If you Google, if you just go to YouTube and look me up these days, a lot more videos about me than there used to be. It's been less than 2 weeks. It's been less than 2 weeks since I ventured into the Black Hebrew Israelite arena. I did so for the transparently obvious reason that I had listened to a dialogue, including vocab Malone, and the man who was lecturing him in a rather condescending fashion had made statements that I know, historically and biblically, are utterly indefensible. Utterly indefensible. And so I just put out on social media, I'd like to get in touch and would like to talk about this, and that led to that first conversation 12 days ago with Elder Akah of the GOCC. Well, that got a lot of attention. But then having vocab on the next week, and then the next day doing the debate, wow. And I'm just looking here on YouTube. Some of these are people reposting stuff that I've posted. And you know what? I don't care. To be honest with you, on this, right now, what I'm encouraged by is the little bit that we've done. This is a little bit. The little bit we've done is getting all over the place to all of the BHI groups. And what's amazing is even when they attack me, they include what I'm saying. And so, you got this up?
Yeah, well, I got a green screen.
Right, it's a green screen at the start. Now, I'll be honest with you. I don't honestly remember if there's any profanity in this.
We don't have a dump,
and we don't have a bleep button. There's no time delay here.
So get the kids out of the room.
Yeah, so I'm just warning you. But I'll only play the beginning and then we start. But this is what actually I have to rejoice in, despite the fact, I mean, the vitriolic, visceral, racist hatred being expressed toward me. Never experienced anything like it in my life. I knew there were people who lived this way, but I really haven't had much interaction with them. And, when some people tell me that there's no such thing as black racism, I just want to go, really? What rock do you live under? Wow. These folks are incredible. They really, really are incredible. And it's just sad to think about what their lives are like. I mean, to see the conjunction of visceral hatred based upon race with religion, the result is the ugliest thing you could ever have. It's one thing to have a secular racist, who's just racist because they're racist. But the contradiction of starting off, well, all praises belong to God, blah, 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 and quoting from the book of Proverbs, and the next word you're dropping F-bombs and whitey and cracker and all the rest of this stuff. I mean, they've obviously never read the book of James. Out of the same mouth, you bless God and you curse men. This, brethren, should not be. For them, it's this, brethren, is the way we are. Says a lot to me. It's an utter refutation. I mean, you can't take those claims seriously when someone is just so obviously hypocritical in the way they behave. But it really shows how ugly it is when you join religion and racism. And that's happened in the past. Every racial group in the world has experienced it. Every single one. Don't close your eyes to the reality that every single racial group in the world has at some time in their history experienced that at the hands of another. That's just the fact. They don't accept it, but they don't accept a lot of things about history. So anyways, this is called GOCC Alpha and Omega Ministry, DABATE. That's a debate instead of a debate. It's a debate. Like we got the Apocrypha and things like that. So we've got the debate here, but at least it starts. I mean, it's edited, but it's not edited to necessarily to remove the important content. So here we go. And so that is why modern translations, if your goal is to actually know what the inspired writers wrote, and they didn't write in King James English, nothing that was said from the Psalter or anything else had anything to do with King James Bible at all, because the King James Bible did not exist until 1611. As to the Apocrypha, the translators of the King James Version did not believe that the Apocrypha was canonical. It was placed between the Testaments, not in the Tanakh. It was not included in the text itself of what we would call the Old Testament. The apocryphal works were never accepted by the Jewish people, which is a fascinating thing. I don't know why those who claim to be Israelites today would accept books that the ancient Israelites never accepted as scripture. And so when you put all this together and then you join it with assertions such as that King James was a black man, when the reality to anyone who looks at history, we know who his parents and his grandparents were, and they were very, very, very white British people. The Bible as a whole, not just taking portions of it, but the Bible as a whole, is the revelation that the triune God is glorifying himself in the salvation of a particular people, and those people are derived from every tribe, tongue, people, and nation. It is the negation of the work of Jesus Christ. It is the negation of the New Testament to ever say, anyone, that those people are determined on the basis of skin color, genetics, or anything else, of Jews and Gentiles, of Jews and Gentiles. Oh, okay, so there you go. And I do recall that there is profanity here, so we unfortunately aren't going there. But hey, you know what? There's a whole audience of people there that would never have heard what I just said if it weren't being included in this stuff. So are we hearing about people who've already left this movement because of what we've done? You better believe we are. So do I like I mean, you just look at the comments on just this one. You look at the comments just this one. Wow. You know, this cracker needs to be capped off and killed and, you know, all the rest. I just, you know, death threats galore in the comments and stuff. Is that enjoyable? No, not really. But just think of the people that I'm thinking about are not these arrogant, ignorant people that just have to scream and yell and demonstrate their ignorance by their inability to follow arguments and stuff. They're not the ones I'm concerned about. The ones I'm concerned about are the people who have fallen under their influence, that think this stuff is true. And then when they find out the stuff isn't true, they have ears to hear. Those are the ones that I'm concerned about. I'm wondering when they're going to figure out, you know, it's not a good idea that we actually repeat this stuff to folks, because this, you know, people, you know, then might not, you know, continue to follow us. There's another one here. What?
While you're saying that, I was going to mention that last week, one of our channel rats brought to my attention that one of the shows that we did had been basically redistributed on one of these guys' YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. It was getting a lot of hits. And, of course, they do this so that they can have the comments going on. And the comments are vile, and they're doing exactly what you're talking about. But the entire show was posted. Yep. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, in the 1970s, if we could have had that kind of exposure into the Soviet Union while all the KGB guys are sitting there just blasting it right and left, we'd be dancing like crazy going, we got the gospel behind the Iron Curtain.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I rejoice that's happening. But I'm honored that I've now earned my own trailer. I'm sending you. You're gonna have to, because it's the full screen. You're gonna have to play with it here. You're playing with it, but there is there is a trailer. The roast of James White live July 4th. So I guess sometime today. The Sakari guys, because day before yesterday, I sat down and I played that whole Google Hangout thing they did right after the debate. And I just went through stuff. And I'm just pointing out, you know, the contradictions, the how many times they contradict themselves, how inconsistent they were, you know, factual errors, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so I guess sometime today, maybe they already have, I don't know, but sometime today they're going to do. Now, roasts are normally nice things. You know, you know, what was the name of that celebrity roast thing? Dean Martin, yeah. David in Twitter said, "Is this going to be like the old Dean Martin celebrity roast?" No, I don't think so. Something tells me it's going to be a little different than that. But they actually put out a trailer for an upcoming roast. So you got it?
Close enough.
Close enough. Okay, here's the trailer for the upcoming roast.
808 Woods.
The roast of James White. Put some respect. I guess we can't say respect. We need to change the English language. Ooh, that's me. Looks like they've got fire in front of me. Oh, I wonder why. Oh, and then, yeah, we got to go back to slavery stuff. None of these people have ever been enslaved, of course, but it's your narrative. Like, ooh. Oh, I see. Then I guess that thing with Michael Jordan's face is supposed to be some type of a joke or something. Put Michael Jordan's face on somebody, and that's supposed to, because they did that to Elder Rakat too. Oh, and there's the horns. There you go. There's my own personal trailer. So there you go. Wow. Who knew?